Okay.
Hey, I'm Jerry.
I'm Jeff.
And we're doing 10 by 10.
10 by 10.
Which is where we take 14 things that we both know about. Well, no. I know a little bit about it, and you know a little bit about it. Spin the wheel, and we have 10 minutes to talk about it. So let's get spinning. I'm doing a... Wait a minute. That goes this way?
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. You do it harder.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Make sure you...
Round and
There we
round
go.
she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. Well, maybe somebody knows, but we don't know.
And... Ooh. What is that?
It is Google Adwords.
Google AdWords, boy.
Pete.
All right, so we got 10 minutes to talk about. You and I both know about Google AdWords.
Right.
So, whoops, wait a second. I lost my.
So the thing about it is, there's some topics I like talking about,
Here we go.
and there are some topics that you feel like you got to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those where I feel like we got to talk about it because I recently was doing a lot of Google AdWording.
AdWording.
Advertising.
Googleidian, Googleidian AdWording. G-ad. We call it GAD. Gadding. Gads.
And so I'll just start off right off the top and let you know Google AdWords is not easy.
No, it's not.
You think Google and you think, oh, anything Google's got to be easy. It looks
Right.
easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
No.
easy.
So for those of you who don't know anything about Google Ads, why? I mean, how would you not know anything about Google Ads?
Right. Google
Right.
AdWords.
Google AdWords. And so, for me, a long time ago, I learned about Google AdWords arbitrage, which is where you create websites and then you allowed the ads on your site. Because when on the site where you're the advertiser, it costs so much a click based on the power of the keyword, how big the keyword is, or popular. So let's say it's $3 a click. Well, the site that was hosting that, they get a percentage of that.
Okay.
And so there were guys that were making millions of dollars by having all these websites all over the place with these ads. But what they would do is, like let's say, like right now we've got drones. So somebody could come up with a drone website, and they could rank it so it's at the top. And then in their website, they've got all these ads for all these drones. So their website is not a business site to sell their product. It's to talk about the product with all surrounded by all these ads. So when people click on it to learn more about one of the other drones, they get money on that. Okay. So guys literally made, a full-time living at this. And so once it was done and it was ranked out there, that was great. But then the Google algorithms came in and just wiped out a lot of those sites because they didn't have all the right content, or they were, this is back in the heyday where you could, if you did it right, you could throw a ton of backlinks at all these sites, and it would take over all of the.
Ultimately, Google is not trying to just say we don't want you to make any more money. You're making too much money too easy. We don't. What they're trying to do is enrich the user experience, the person using
Right.
Google, so that what they are searching for, they would be led to a website that would have the right information, not just a website that was like basically a scheme in a way where it was just going to
Right.
try to,
And I totally agree with that, because from a business point of view, what happens if you go online and you type in a search phrase and all that's on the page is stuff you don't want to look at?
Right.
You go to a different browser, a different browser server.
Yeah.
And that's why they've created all these algorithms, is just to strip out all of these, things that don't make sense, and to provide good content so that the person doing the search gets what they need, and they'll stay with the Google browser.
Right. So even kind of backing up a little bit, one of the things, if we're talking about Google AdWords, it's important, especially if you have a new website or you have a product that you're trying to sell and capture the market, you definitely want to make sure that you're doing the right SEO so that your website is organically strong.
Right.
So if I type in certain keywords, your website will come up organically. Now, of course, if you're maybe taking on a new product and you don't have the ability to do that,
Right.
it makes sense to do some Google AdWords.
Right.
The thing that I would say that a lot of people aren't aware of is when you're purchasing those Google AdWords, some people will come up with a whole string of, well, if people say these 3 words in a row, like let's say it was drone, but let's say it was like, I want a drone with GPS and a built-in camera, and you say, okay, well, I'm going to do drone GPS camera, and I'm going to buy those Google AdWords, that one string, and I'm going to pay money for that, so that when people type that in, whatever it costs, I want to have my ad up at the top of the page. The problem is, maybe they haven't optimized their website so that that's a product that they've added yet. They're going to, and they have every intention of doing it. Or they may have drones, but they don't have drones with GPS and cameras just yet. But they want to, test the waters and see.
So that ad that they click on supposedly should take them to their website with that product all ready to go.
Right. And what ends up happening is people are trying to buy all of these AdWords that, like, I mean, they get very kind of intricate and very specific.
Right.
But what ends up happening is Google will actually look at your website that is being directing your customers to, or potential customers. It will look at it and will go, I don't know if I really like this user experience. If I'm looking for a very specific product, a drone with GPS and a camera,
and I click on the link,
and this doesn't really take me to anything that talks about having GPS or a camera, I'm going to now charge you more or make it more difficult for you to have success with that.
Or even block it, right?
They could even block it.
It's like you're no longer able to use this keyword.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
You're not going to pay for it.
Right.
But the thing is, it will actually cost you more money.
Right. Because it's like an auction.
Right.
So when you guys go online and you look, and it's over on the, I guess that's over here. Is this the left side?
No.
That's the left side. It's on the right side. There we go.
I'm on the left.
No, you're on the right. Okay.
No, I am, because this is my left hand. It's the left side.
So tough. So when you look at the right hand side, there's going to be 10 Google ads. Plus you're going to have the 3 on top and the 3 on bottom that are.
This is the left.
Oh.
Because if they're looking, this is the left. Don't be right here. Okay. Sorry. We're going
to look at this later. Anyways, those 10 ads over here, those are actually all these businesses that are vying for the #1 position. So they're willing to allow that click. Let's say, for example, the keyword that's like a $3 click. It's that popular. So if you click on it, then they get charged $3. Where they're willing to say, I'll let it up to $5 for that click. And then everybody else is saying, well, we're only going to allow up to $4. So they're actually going to get their Google ad up higher and in that #1 position, so that when people go to click, they're able to see that. Oh, I see what you're saying. I have to go over here when I'm talking about it.
Yes, that's left.
I finally get it. Okay. So I'm just going to go like this. So when they click, hang it. Knock it off. Okay. Well, as you can see, that the higher bidder gets the higher placement, and so it can really cost a ton of money.
But see, that's part of my thing though, is it's not always the highest bidder.
Right.
It's
the
you might have a guy.
Relevant,
right. You might have a guy who's got a very relevant set of keywords that's a very niche oriented, and their website talks about it and is dedicated to that.
Right.
You're trying to get in on that.
Right. So a link that delivers exactly what it's advertising.
Right. Whereas your website doesn't, so Google's going to charge you more.
Right.
Then it's going to charge them to deliver, because it's not crazy about that.
Right. It's a more quality. So that's the thing, is they've actually been able to create Google bots that go in and look and see. So they'll scrape your website for keywords and images and see if that's relevant to the link. So it's not really a human that's doing it. It's
algorithms.
It's right. Which is amazing. That's really scary.
So again, it's there's a lot of things that you can do. There's a lot of things. There's make sure that if you're going to do Google AdWords, that you're using negative keywords as well. Right.
Things that you don't want to show up for.
So for instance, on my website, and Jerry was kind of telling me about this, and it's true. On my website, if organically, I might want somebody who's searching for a cheap alternative to a product, land on my website, because I'm going to explain where the cheap might not always be best, but at least they typed in those keywords that took them to my website.
Right.
If I'm looking for Google AdWords, I don't want cheap, because somebody's going to click on my link. I'm going to spend $20, $30, $40, $50 for that. They get to my website and go, these aren't cheap. because they're just literally looking. I mean, it's a completely different type of customer.
Right. So there's people that are researching and there's people that are buying. And
Right.
so now you want to get buyer keywords versus looky-loo keywords because you can spend a ton of money just for somebody getting education. However, kind of flips back to some of the other things you're talking about where they've seen you and they'll remember you. So down the road, they'll also think about you too, maybe. But if you're educating the person, they go somewhere else to make the buy, it's not that good.
Right.
So that's the other thing too. When you're doing Google ads and somebody clicks on it and they go to your site, then you have the ability, and we got about 20 seconds here to talk about cookies.
Yeah.
So now they've got a little bit of a code on their browser. So when they go somewhere else, if you've done this correctly, they'll see your ad throughout it. So that's for some of you when you're on the web and you go to these other places to read your news source, and then here's all these ads for things that you've been searching. You may not know about it. Oh, and there we go. So that was our 10 minutes. We talked about Google ads.
10 minutes worth of knowledge you can use only here.
That's
like,
right.
subscribe, and watch again.
And Facebook us.
Both of us?